am happy to be here today. And when you address me as your chief guest, I get lost because I feel I'm part and part of you. I should be addressing a chief guest who is not myself, because we've been running together. And so this is our day, all of us. But thank you for inviting me as a chief guest. But I am part and parcel of everything. And all the speeches that have been made, I am part and parcel of everything. And therefore, I'm just going to summarize. First of all, Mr. Celestino, Paul, my peers, CEO era, have told us the story, how it started. And so I'll not take you back to 2005 and what happened, which was in my speech, because you've given us the background. But I just want to emphasize the point that Tino, I learned that sometimes you are called as Tino. What he said that what we are going through was a known known. I liked that because the reaction from the people was as if it is unknown known. Okay? The number of times I have been called to Parliament to give reports, to Cabinet, to give reports. And even towards the end, I think last week, I was invited to appear before Parliament, 2 parliamentary committees at the same time, handling the same thing. Committee of Natural Resources, I was invited by the chairperson of the committee to appear at 10. The Committee of National Economy invited the same minister to appear before it same day, same time at 10. So what I did was to take myself, and I kept time. I thought that Natural Resources, since we've been together more often, they will understand. I will just start the committee and then leave my technical team and then cross over to national economy. Wapi. I reach there and they get stuck on me. They said, no, you have to complete. But I want to thank the chair and the members of Natural Environment and Natural Resources Committee. The chair informed his friend, his colleague, the chairperson of national economy, that we are not letting the minister go, you can join us. So the chairperson of national economy is not here, but I want to thank him so much. He came and participated. So I ended up being in one place, handling both committees at the same time. The issue was Umeme concession. How prepared are you? So this known thing appeared to be unknown at some time. The kind of issues that were being raised, even on numbers, you can imagine. How come ERA told us a different figure? You are now talking about different figure. You are now borrowing, different. And I'm like, all these are estimates. Because the concession is still running. And the Auditor General has to do his work. He had to give a provisional figure, which we based on to ask finance to put a loan request of $190 million provisionally as the Auditor General completes. But some people were looking for some loophole to catch us. We are going to catch them, to get backward. We are going to catch them. The difference in the figures, we are going to catch them. So, and some people could not tell the difference between borrowing money and cashing. And so you had to explain that borrowing is a process. You can't wait till the Auditor General has completed and then you borrow. Then you go to cabinet and then parliament. I mean, you have to be prepared. Then the question of where have you been? Didn't you know? Why didn't you do this thing early enough? And I'm like, supposing we did it 6 months ago, what will happen the remaining period when Umeme is still handling and is still investing? And even the concession itself instructs us what to do when. But I don't know what was wrong with people. The anxiety has been too much. And I thank God, the living God we serve, whose nature is mercy. He has been merciful today because we stood firm. I surrounded myself with gadgets to safeguard me from being pushed into panic mode. You call me and I listen to you and I'm like, okay, now take this way. Now do this way. Under Secretary, how are you feeling? Because it has been like run, and I knew and I trusted that the president took a decision well calculated when he guided and instructed me not to renew the concession and therefore prepare. And he kept on telling cabinet, we shall get the money. Because the issue was, will you get the buyout? Because if you don't, then this transition will not take place. And I could look at the president's face every time in the cabinet and elsewhere, insisting that we shall get the money. So I based on that trust to maintain my smile and my confidence, to move with everybody, basing on the trust I have in my president and what I have learned from him. My president has never been panicky. He wouldn't have won the liberation war. He handled every category of people. Abasamize, Abasabi, you know. He handled every category of people and he was able to guide somebody who told him that now that you have done this, even if you march to Kampala, you will take over. Kati owamba Kampala kati, already said, okay, tell the spirits to leave this part now for us. Tell the spirits to leave that part for us. I would like to tell Ugandans to leave this last leg to us because we are going to deliver. We are going to deliver. We got prepared. So it has been a lesson. I know that you have learned a lot to be consistent and follow the proper procedure. Somebody is telling you to pay. No. The Auditor General finally delivered the figure. Okay? And the other issue now was that now Umeme has a different figure. The Auditor General has given us a different figure. How can that be a problem? When we know that we have a period of harmonization. From 1st of April, the Auditor General and everybody concerned will be sitting with Umeme to harmonize. How can that be a problem? In the Auditor General's report, it was very clear that that wasn't the conclusive one because there is work which Umeme is still doing. They mentioned incompleted work. In other words, the Auditor General was telling you, for this, you can clear. $118 million US, go ahead and clear. And we did that. We cleared. There is work worth 9.78 or 87 million US dollars. That work is recognized as being work in progress. There could be another portion which will need harmonization. So I can assure you, Umeme Board and Executive, Mr. Patrick Vitatura and your team, that we are still together. We have to conclude naturally because this is not a termination. People should understand the difference between a termination and a natural retirement of an agreement. So I'm so happy. I cannot explain how I'm feeling, especially in this month. I can call it a month that has delivered triplets. I said this in State House. Triplets from me and my team, because we handle much more than electricity in my ministry. This very month, one of the 3 triplets came out when East African crude oil pipeline reached the financial close. That is not a mean achievement. We've been moving up and down. Then on Saturday, 28th, as we were preparing for this triplet of ours today, another one also came out. When I signed the implementation agreement for the refinery. Okay? Today, we are about to see the triplets coming out when we are receiving the assets and the network from Umeme. And the deliveries have been natural and normal. No cuts. Natural and normal. Bleeding, minimum bleeding, expected bleeding, but it's okay. No scissor, normal, natural, and the mother is going to be live and kicking. Okay? Little blood here and there, expected. And I've been calling it consequential inconveniences. You cannot expect us to run as if there was nothing to transfer or even nothing regarding a structure or even nothing regarding recruitment. No. When you recruit people whose legs are still in Umeme and you are recruiting them, do you expect them to run normally? Absolutely? 100%? You are inviting them, they are making applications, they are the very people. Celestino is calling because the minister has called, there is an emergency here, but the person is organizing for an interview. This kind of little bleeding is expected. And I want to call upon Ugandans really to bear with us. But the babies are alive and kicking. They are alive and kicking. So the lessons that we learn are in the Bible, in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, that talks about seasons. There was a season when Umeme was majorly needed, and we call Umeme our savior. Because that season required a midwife to deliver us. And Umeme came up. And they've been nurturing the baby, nurturing the baby, nurturing the baby. So the other seasons are also coming. When your baby tells you, I am above 18, I feel I can choose to go and find a family of my own. What do you do as a parent? You just support. So Umeme, I'm expecting you to support us. Celestino, don't switch off, please. Don't switch off. We are still together because much as you are Babungi, Celestino, you are Ugandan. Some people thought that you are not. And because I have seen it from the speech of your able chair of board, and even you yourself, and the spirit within which you've been working, this is your baby whom you wish to deliver more triplets, okay? This is your baby, so I have no doubt that you'll be quick to give guidance. So I have taken note of the need to generate more power. I think in today's papers we have a request for proposal from our accountant for people to express their interest for consultancy regarding feasibility study for one of the planned hydropower plants, a 400 megawatt hydropower plant, Kiba. And we have to make sure that we fast track. This we have told the president many times. And there are indicators that he has picked it, and you will be seeing us beginning on new, bigger power generation plants that we shall be working on. We know that. To you, Paul Omwesigwa, this season is a season which comes periodically, every after 5 years. This is a political season. Things are not going to be the same. You ask Celestino, what happens during this season? My dear, things are not going to be the same. So those ties and suits you are wearing, things are not going to be the same. The members of parliament are here. And the candidates are not small. From the presidential level to LC1. And LC1 chairperson will call you. But in that very village, probably is where the presidential candidate will hold a rally. Okay? So that chairman, LC1, will have an opportunity to come on the microphone. Muzei, these people, they don't know what they are doing. Can you imagine? We've been in darkness for all this time. Nankabirwa. Paulo. At that time, Umeme will not be there. Umeme's name has been sleek and easy to mention in good and bad times. You say, Umeme. Now, UEDCL, which some people call UDCL, others call it UTCL, others call it what? We will not bother with that company. We will say, Paulo Mwesigwa. This Mwesigwa man. Because UEDCL is long for people. So you Ugandans who are listening to me, whenever you've been hearing Umeme, put Paulo Mwesigwa. Umeme Mwesigwa. Mwesigwa. Is this man Mwesigwa really? Mwesigwa. So, this is what is coming. The good thing is that it is coming and finding us prepared. You are lucky. You even mentioned how much money you have. $74 million at your disposal. Being a Paulo Mwesigwa at this stage, when you are taking over, you can pull some sympathy, but that sympathy will not be forever. Because government has done everything it takes to support you financially. And you have recruited people who have experience. Your network is full of people who have experience. And what you have to do now, working with us, of course, is to make sure that we put a strong communication network. I met Mr. Kauju in Igaba when blackouts were becoming too much. And I was informed that, Madam, you see, Gaba substation, which serves Munyonyo, Kansanga, Chirudu, all those people is being worked on. Said, okay, we are replacing a transformer, which is a good thing. I had to go to Gaba with the Tino, and Kauju was there, and I found a lady with the machine trying to fix. I was excited, but my question to Mr. Kawuju was, did you communicate? He said they had communicated. And I demanded for effective communication to save us. So the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, working with the agencies, we must communicate effectively. This is what I'm demanding from you. You will sit and tell me how. Okay? How can people complain of losing their items in the fridge? Yet Umeme tells me that they communicated and alerted people. Somebody from Kansanga says, oh, ebintu byaddaku byonna bifudde. You know, we are in Ramadan, but now I am going to travel. I had stocked my fridge. All the sausages are gone. And you tell me that you communicated effectively. There is a gap in communication. We have to communicate. We've been trying, I and my brother, Minister of State, to engage members of Parliament, and whenever we engaged them, they understood. And I want to thank you so much. Thank you, our foot soldiers in Parliament. I must use this opportunity to brag a bit that I think I'm the most supported minister. The most supported minister by Parliament. The most supported minister by the technical people. The most supported minister by the President, who even sometimes answers questions on my behalf. You are preparing to answer. It says, for Umeme we've done this, for Energy we've done this. And I've been given the best performers. Why shouldn't I perform? The members on my committee in Parliament, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, they ask whether I'm comfortable, and then we move. When I say I'm not comfortable, we sit in a meeting. An amazing support from you people. When you hear that Uganda has the best regulator on the continent, why wouldn't we see a smooth transition with this regulator who has been regulating the system being in Uganda? If your permanent secretary is announced as the best permanent secretary, how can you be the worst minister? Okay? Everybody. And I must be thankful to you for taking me as your student. And you feel free to really be my tutors. And you've been making the tutorials. The ministers of state. The Minister of State for Mineral Development takes me as her mother. Who can dare annoy her mother? Who can dare annoy? Even the Bible talks about it. Even the Quran. When you are loving and you are portioning, you have to add more to the mother. That's what the Quran says. So I am standing here to really communicate to you my feelings and my support. The rest will be okay. I've been communicating in the most simple way for everybody to understand. And this is what the President requires. If you are installing a transformer, you have to tell people that there is no diversion where a customer will continue using power as we install this transformer. That diversion, we find it on the roads. Road diverted. You take the diversion, you still reach where you are going. But with electricity, I have to switch you off. So dear colleagues, members of Parliament, this intermittent power of recent, which has increased, it is because Umeme's activities of recent also increased to be able to complete the incomplete work. So this line is switched off because there is some work going on. Another line somewhere, and another line somewhere. This is the period, the season now to fix things so that Umeme lives with a clean, sheet. So it is what we call that inconvenience, which is consequential from what is taking place. If we can communicate to public, they will be able to understand. And so the frustrations will be contained. I've been communicating that obviously Umeme's service has been expensive. The chairperson of the board has agreed. But at that season, which was comprised of the unknown, any business person will make sure that they de-risk their business. So they had to de-risk their business, and so the concession had provisions that were de-risking their business. And so we are moving away from that because we are now sure government is going to put in money. Mwesigwa has been allowed to borrow. They are the ones who have actually borrowed the $50 million. It's borrowed by Mwesigwa, not the ministry. It is Mwesigwa who has borrowed this money. And once we the shareholders allow Mwesigwa to borrow, we are de-risking because he has to make sure that the rotten poles are replaced, that the transformers which are no longer serving the huge load are replaced. Everything else is done. And now the regulator is careful in making sure that in the tariff we have some portion to sustain the system. This is a better situation, which was not there when Umeme was taking over. So shareholders in Umeme had to sweat and get money and pump in money into the service delivery. So with you, government, because you are holding that company on behalf of government, where your minister is the majority shareholder, you are lucky that your shareholders sit in the cabinet. Women's shareholders were not sitting in the cabinet. No. Your shareholders are members of parliament. They interface with the parliament, whose duty is to appropriate enough funds for this sector. So you're lucky. So we will be able to handle that. And I've been communicating, therefore, that we expect even power to be more affordable. And today, before we receive the assets, the chairperson, the regulator, is going to tell us this good announcement where tariffs have been reduced. From today or from 31st midnight? From 31st of midnight going forward, what the regulator is going to announce today will work. And that has seen us a saving of 250 billion shillings as government. That clapping is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Because this is what we want. I've talked about power reliability. When I tell you that Mwesigwa is going to borrow, for me that means power is going to be more reliable. You'll be able to have a rapid response unit. Your stores must be full. Your people must be full of energy to run around. The challenge of vandalism. The challenge of vandalism. Pastor Sempa, have you been praying? Vandalism. Okay? Vandalism. Can you pray that Jesus visits these people like he visited Zacchaeus, who was up in that tree? This was the sermon yesterday as I was in Ikako representing the president. The sermon was very good. Zacchaeus was in the tree, and when Jesus visited him, and told him, come down immediately. When he came down, he just said, my Lord, every person that I have injured, I will pay 4 times, and I'm going to return this, and I will take a portion of all my things, take back. People who are vandalizing are on that tree. They must come down. They must come down and leave that habit of stealing, cutting down poles. That is something where I have just received another directive from the President to work with the UPDF and the rest to make sure that we curb this. But I gave guidance to UEDCL when we had the annual general meeting. Please take this seriously. So today we are going to announce the savings, but these savings can again be swept into making good of what the vandals have done. You know, replacing poles and all that. So you move 5 steps forward and 2 steps backward. When will you reach the land of 100% access to power, clean power, and 100% power reliability, and 100% affordable power, when you are, you know, entertaining people who are stealing our poles. So I want to end by sincerely appreciating Umeme. I've been appreciating you. Sometimes I've been acting as your spokesperson because I understood the background. Incidentally, I've been around for some time in Parliament and Cabinet, and I have witnessed many policies being enacted and formulated by Cabinet. So I know the background, and my thanks to you has been sincere because I know. Patrick, I've been calling you this last leg, which almost put my people, you know, you've been waiting for Auditor General to get the money. The money has come. Where are you paying the money? This known thing had those challenges. Because it was a known thing, we were able to go through the challenges. Money went to the right account, right people, and I think they acknowledge receipt, and that's why we are here comfortably seated, waiting to receive the assets and the network from Umeme. So the chair of the board will be coming. I can't thank Honorable Okasai enough. Honorable Okasai's way of communicating is a tool that we have been using. I mean, unless you have something wrong, it's very difficult to really jump on his head after he has made a communication. The man is so humble and is an elder. So to have both attributes. And he worked with me when I was a minister in agriculture, when he was a director in charge of crop. So we are working together. So when the president appointed him as my Minister of State, I knew that we were going to work together anyway. So I'm standing here to appreciate and to say that I know that you are in the constituency, that you are going to contest again. I just want to have a look at the person who is going to compete with you. Have a chat with him, really. Because you are mastering the sector, critical sector. And then somebody says, "Hello, vayo, get away." You know, sometimes this politics is funny. Very funny. So I want to declare my support to you without fear or favor. Anyway, me, I'm not going to contest, so nobody can come and revenge on me. I'm not going to contest. I told you my constituency is Uganda, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, where I will be, and I will be accessible, and I'll be moving with my team. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, the regulator. Thank you, UEDCL, the people who sell this power in bulk to Umeme, now to Mwesigwa. Yes, you are now sons of the same mother. You share the same shareholders. I don't expect anything that will make you not work together. Even where you have conflicts, you'll be like Uganda. Those conflicts should not be injurious to our system, to our business. You are members of the same family. We will find a way of communicating to the staff who are not here. I want a system where the staff will be receiving messages from me, the minister, because what they are inheriting is not something to joke around with. I have to keep communicating to them, reminding them that when you do well, you've secured your tenure. Minus that, I have no relationship with you. If you are not delivering, no relationship with you, you will go. There are many Ugandans out there who are crying that Mwesigwa has not taken them on. They are crying, but there is no way Mwesigwa would have taken everybody. This is not a merger of Umeme and UEDCL. It's not a merger. It's a transition which is likely to leave some people out. And so there are those people who are out, 191, whom we have not taken on. But we know them, that they are there. They are on our special list. If there is any need, somebody sleeping on job, I can assure you, we will not tolerate you. You will go home. And this contract is tagged to the merger. If the merger of the three companies comes in 1 year, your contract stops there. But it doesn't mean that you have no chance. If you've been performing, we merge with you. We take you on. If you've not been performing, we say, hey, this one, let us drop this one. Because you are many. So your contracts are tagged on the merger or beyond. But I'll have to make sure that this merger appears when we are ready. I'll not accept to be forced to merge. I'll be doing a disservice to this country. This I've been telling the cabinet, I've been telling the Minister of Public Service. This ministry is going through major reforms, critical reforms. Before Mwesigwa sits in and, sits on his chair, you want me to bring in Karamaji, to merge Mwesigwa with Karamaji and Mutikanga. Those ones, you don't know what they come up with. Mwesigwa, Karamaji, Mutikanga. Okay? So this, I am standing here to really assure the country that the policy to merge is good. It comes with advantages and disadvantages. It comes with a cost where you'll be forced to pay or compensate. But the summation of all that, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, because the savings that were calculated are far bigger than, those disadvantages that I have enumerated. But for this critical sector, the regulator calls it live service. It's like you are handling people's lives, in your hands. It is a live network. It is off. The repercussions are bigger. I have been pleading that we grow the merger. We don't rush, we grow the merger until such a time when new systems are in place, technology, ICT in place, and then you say we are good to go. We have fully gone on to the network. I will continue pursuing this. So I will be going to cabinet after this function, and I want to say that I was surprised the function became bigger. PS, you didn't tip me. I thought it was going to be a small thing, Patrick, but it is big this early morning of Monday. Thank you so much for turning up. It has been a short notice because we wanted to do it before midnight of 31st. And for us now, internal, we had planned to sit here at midnight and see. I don't know whether that plan is still there. It's on. We are going to be in the room on the SCADA to witness. For the first time in my life, I'm going to witness this. So my team, small team that has been invited, we shall still be here and receive the Mugole together. But this one was big thing. Dr. Litho, Patricia, and your team, thank you so much. You've surprised me. I think it was befitting even to put it live coverage. UBC, I know that I've communicated to the people of Kumi and also the people of Chigoga as well. And the entire, because UBC goes to those rural areas. So thank you for this arrangement. We've used it very well to communicate. The communication from